You seem to handle your fame very well. It hasn't gone to your head, no. Um, I was already annoying. You still care about others as much as you ever did, yeah. Uh, who do you think handles their fame well? Who else? I don't know. Some people love it. I'm sort of better with it. I'm over it now, and also people, you know. And I never had it. I never really had it bad. When I first popped up, there's a bit of a frenzy. Who is he? Where's he from? And after a big thing like the Golden Globes, you know, they come out of the woodwork again and ask questions. But most people know you know, I'm not a pop star or a racing driver. You know what I mean? I'm not glamorous for the papers. So, and I don't go to places where I'm going to be bothered. I do my thing, I do my work, and then I come home. So I'm sort of fine with it. Uh, I don't fear it as much. I'm more independent. Like in the early days, I hated doing all the interviews and papers, but I had to for them to watch my show. Now I don't need to do that. I just do things I like. I've got more. I've got more viewers than newspapers, So, uh, but I'm pretty cool with it, and I haven't had a bad time like some people. Some people are slagged off all the time. Some people caught it, of course. I never did that thing where I said, "Make me famous, then you can go through my bins." So it's not been bad for me. Who else handles it? Well, I mean, there's people that seem to love it, love the atmosphere, love the game, the good and bad. Like Piers Morgan, he's good at it because I think he evolved doing that sort of thing. You know, he's a sort of a contrarian, I guess. And you've got to know that some things he means and some things he doesn't. Some things he's trolling, like being furious about a vegan sausage roll, and then other things he means, like stuff. So, but I think he'd admit he's got to be a bit clickbaity. It's his living, and I think he handles it well. I think that he knows that he's got to live and die by the. If he slags people off, they're going to slag him off. So he's got to be ready, and all you do there is just not be a hypocrite. I think be fair. So I think he handles it well. Maybe he seems to. Maybe he goes home and the wall and says, "I said what? I don't know." You'd have to ask him.
As a new form of the virus is now rapidly spreading across Africa.
I had a bit of a incident last night. So I'm worried about this, right? I'm worried, right? I'm a bit of a worrier anyway. And I'm a hypochondriac. I went to the doctor's once. I had an upset stomach. And she said, well, "What's the matter?" I said, "Oh, upset stomach." She went, "Right, so have you changed any of your habit?" I said, "So yeah, I started having sort of, smoothies with fibre in." She went, "Will be that then, won't it?" I went, "Right, good." So yeah, went to the doctor. I said, "Is it bowel cancer?" She said, "No." I went, "Right." And then she said, "When you get a sore throat, do you think that's throat cancer?" Right? I think she thought I'd laugh. I went, "Yes." And she went, "Okay, okay, you can leave now." That's what I want a doctor. I want a doctor to make me feel because I went along. Do you know what I mean? I want to go along. I don't want them. I don't ever want a doctor to say to me, "Well, you were right to come in because." Whew. So anyway, so last night I went to bed. I went to Jane. "Oh, don't feel very well." Right? She went, "What's the matter?" I said, "Oh no, I just feel ill, sort of upset stomach." And I went, "It's coronavirus." She went, "Right." I said, "So I feel hot." So she went and got a thermometer. She got out of bed, right? Got a thermometer, tested me. She went, "Well, no, if anything, it's low. If anything, it's like." I went, right. I said, I just feel a bit hot. I said, I've got a blocked up nose. She went, well, that's not coronavirus. I went, right, all right, doctor, right. And I went, oh, I feel sort of out of breath. It was really nervous. You're winding yourself up, right? And I went, I sort of sore throat. So we've always got a sore throat because you don't drink enough liquid and you're always dehydrated. So I went, all right, anyway, I don't feel... So I took a nighttime Beecham's, right, and went to sleep. That must have mixed with the alcohol because I woke up screaming from a nightmare at about 3 o'clock. Scared Jane to death because I thought an earplug was a spider. And so I woke up this morning. She went, how do you feel? I went, yeah, fine. My life often is, I have those incidents now and again. And I always remember a line in Christmas Carol when they go, and Tiny Tim, who did not, and I say that when I get up, I go, who did not? Oh dear. So business as usual, really. I'm not a brave man. I always think the worst. So then, when it's not the worst, I'm happy. I think it was what a lovely day. I didn't. Oh.
The World Health Organization tonight is declaring Mpox, formerly known as Mpox, a global public health.
Jane laughed at me because I found just a sports one, not a legal one, a sports one. But you know, if people come for the toilet rolls, they don't know it's got a little blunt thing on the end. I think when I woke up screaming, I think I shouted, "Ah, spider!" This is like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Are there any psychiatrists watching? I've never been to a psychiatrist or a therapist. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't just film it. Maybe I'd say... I'd worry that I'd say things for a laugh that I couldn't take back. Like I'd say something to wind them up, and then they'd call the authorities and go, "He's a proper psychopath. You've got to put him away before he hurts people." Because I can't resist it. I can't resist. If I knew what would worry a psychiatrist, I'd say it for a laugh. Oh dear. Anyway, cheers. Make the most of it. Keep your pecker up. What? Careless talk. What is it? Cost lives. Walls have ears. Look, careful. There's a Nazi. Turn that light out. Dig for victory. Don't be bothered. See you later.
You coming yesterday? You could have seen it.
Oh, really? It was just this morning.
Well, yesterday, late afternoon.
Yeah, you can kind of see it,
the appalling state of peril of free speech in this country,
It's
and
terrifying.
what British people are being subjected to on a creeping authoritarian basis in terms of obviously the Online Safety Act,
Yeah.
which we can talk about, which Reform has committed to repeal, because all it's doing, it's making children less safe, and it is having a very chilling effect on political dissent in this country. But it's also, we can talk about the Connolly case. We can talk about, obviously, the case of the Father Ted, the creator Father Ted, where 5 armed police were deployed to arrest somebody for tweets. Well, because we have legislation in this country, which means that more people are arrested for speech in the UK than in Russia. And so the fact that that is true should be something of great concern to everyone in the country. Again, regardless of your political leanings, regardless, the ability to speak your mind freely, with some constraints, of course, inciting violence, shouting fire in a theatre, but that's not what we're talking about here. And now you've got senior figures from the police coming out, where the police are saying, well, change the laws then. And I agree with that. I think for too long, you now got the Prime Minister criticising the police, which is, I think, completely unacceptable and ridiculous. When you have left, it is literally the job of politicians, Lois, to legislate, to make the laws. And what I've said is that, Reform are committed to not abdicating that responsibility. Reform will absolutely legislate to make this country a serious one again.
I am the broadcaster here. I can say anything. Everyone can join in. No one can get offended, or they can just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. Keep it free for you. That's what I want to do. Really keep it free for you. So get it sponsored by someone. I don't know how that would work. I'd quite like to do it that old-fashioned way, where I say, hello, welcome to Load of Bollocks, sponsored by Jameson's, smooth Irish whiskey. And I choose things that I actually liked, so I wasn't lying. I'd want to say what I want about them. They pay me if they like. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't change any of the content. They can't say, oh, you can't talk about this. I go bollocks. I talk about what I want. So you've got to be careful what you're sponsored by, so they're not too precious. Like if you get sponsored by the Vatican, you're asking for trouble. They'd call up one day and go, we don't like to talk about the cock in the drain. I go, you changed. So I want to be having to talk about cocks in drains, alien slugs, and all that shit.
And unfortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution.
I mean, luckily, I don't think you can take people to court over jokes. Not in a sensible, civilized society where freedom of speech is a cornerstone. It's getting that way. I think there was some sort of thing trying to be passed in Scotland that you could be done for being grossly offensive in a joke. I didn't look into it, but you can't have that. You can't. It's a nonsense.
Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizen suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Who's to say what? I told you before, if there is a law where you can call the police if someone offends you, I will be on the fucking phone 24/7. I will spend my entire fortune on a bank of 1,000 people on phones just calling the police saying I'm offended. What is it? Fat bloke on a skateboard. Yeah, he's 28. Yeah, he's dressed like a toddler and he's going up and down my street on a skateboard. I find it grossly offensive. Alright, you see him get fucking taken away. I will complain about anything that annoys me to show what a fucking farce such a law would be. That you can say something that someone finds offensive, that their feelings are more important than your freedom of speech. So no.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of facts. That, I think, is one of the big tasks of social media. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the First Amendment, but that also says, look, there is a difference between these platforms letting all voices be heard versus a business model that elevates the most hateful voices or the most polarizing voices or the most dangerous in the sense of inciting violence voices. And that I think is going to be a big challenge for all of us that we're going to have to undertake.
So what are your thoughts on evolution?
Wow. The Darwin thing?
Yeah.
I don't really go for it.
No?
Yeah. Ice Age, dinosaurs, what did they turn into? I mean, things became extinct at some point. I don't think I was some kind of legless thing that crawled out of the ocean. I don't think I came from that. I think I was created.
Some penguins are prostitutes. That's a hell of a diss, isn't it? Some penguins are prostitutes, right? Offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I think that's true. Well, see, it depends what you mean here, right? Because when animals mate, okay, this is so general, and there are 5 million different species, but bear with me. A female of the species is attracted to a male because she thinks that he's right for her kids. Like, he's big and powerful, my kids will be big and powerful. He's the fastest runner, my kids will be good, that'll help them survive. He's powerful, he's good at providing. If it's a species that stays around, good, he's good. Then there's attraction, which can be arbitrary, but it's signals. So this one got the biggest feathers, and it got the, okay, that's what we want. It sounds arbitrary. And some birds woo their mate by giving them stuff, collecting things, right? And the biggest pile of rocks, she goes, well, he's got the most rocks. Now that sounds arbitrary, but even if it is, he was the best at that. So he flew the most, he got the most rocks, he's the best dad, in theory. So I suppose as a signal, they'd do anything. Pebbles. I love that. Some penguins are prostitutes, offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I love that. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Maybe there's a war on. Maybe like this penguin had to survive. Like the prostitute. That's so harsh. Oh dear. Good. Any evolutionists listening? Have I sort of got it right? Also, you can learn value of stuff. Like they did an experiment with monkeys where they would win tokens to do a trick, and then that would give them bananas. And so they created a community where they would exchange tokens for favours, sexual favours, to the female monkeys, because the female monkey didn't think that this was like, okay, you do that, give me the token because I want a banana. So it's like a barter system that there's no thought involved. It's not like the monkey's going, well, that'll technically make me a sex worker. Isn't that? Oh dear, I love it. I love it. I call it the oldest profession, don't they?
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform.
I think Starmer's one of the worst prime ministers we've ever had, and he's only been with us 81 days. But look what he's done in those 81 days. He's allowed the Chancellor to go ahead with a scheme where 4,000 pensioners could freeze to death this winter, and those are Labour figures, by the way, not Tory figures, OK. He's introduced a raft of policies like energy, which could make us dependent on overseas energy ad infinitum, so dictators around the world will control what we have in this country. Never mind the sleaze. I mean, goodness gracious, he stood up in the Commons once, looked across the box at Boris Johnson and said, sleaze, sleaze, sleaze. There's never been a sleazier Prime Minister. Never been a sleazier Prime Minister.
Then Keir Starmer.
Never.
So what makes you call him sleazy? Sleazy's an interesting word for you to use.
Well, if you're walking around in other people's suits to try and improve your image, I saw one...
Well, it's his suit. It's just paid for by somebody else.
I reckon he was a useless lawyer, a boring, useless public sector lawyer. Boring, useless public sector lawyer.
A lot of public interest cases, and then he served
boring,
useless, public prosecution. Where he changed the approach, so they started prosecuting grooming gangs.
Adenoidal voice, incapable of thinking on his feet.
He is actually. I think in there is a decent man, quite amused,
really,
right sense of humour.
I don't think Lou Hay thinks so, the Transport Secretary sacked. I don't think Angie Rayner, the former Deputy Prime Minister, thinks he's decent. I think they think he's treacherous, disloyal, doesn't believe in anything, doesn't believe in anybody, throws people under a bus because he's useless.
Do you think society could survive if everyone was kind, generous and thoughtful? Or do we need ruthless bastards to drive industry and make the difficult decisions? I don't know. I don't think you have to not be kind and generous and thoughtful to make difficult decisions, do you? You know, it's kind to decide to have your pet put down. That's kind. It's a terrible decision, but it's kind. It's a kind decision. So I don't think those two are in conflict. But I know exactly what you mean. I think naturally we probably are kind and generous and nurturing, but we developed our intelligence was sort of relied a bit on violence because we didn't have the tools, did we, to defend ourselves. So we had to come up with cunning, evil fucking ways to catch stuff and eat it. So, but I think naturally we probably are generous and nurturing too, you know. We had to be really kind and generous and nurturing because we didn't have the tools, and we had to look after our young in a scary place. But I mean, I don't know about politics. I think politicians have proved that it's nothing to do with doing what's right for most people now. Even if they start off going into it with good intentions, all the compromises, all the worries about trying to please everyone, they soon start, you know, not doing a great job. And now a lot of them have proved that they're blatant. They're in it for themselves. So I don't know. I think the utopia you're talking about probably is possible, but yeah, I think there's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Genius. Rick, what do you think about the world? There's always a few bad eggs, isn't there? Brilliant.
Do we agree, Prime Minister, that nobody should be left feeling, as Cat Smith has just described, that they would be better off dying between now and next April?
No, of course. But governments have to bring about sensible reform and take
sensible
measures
reform, absolutely.
But things like anti-forestalling clause, they are not unique to this situation. But on a human level, the answer to your question is, of course, not.
But last year, you told me that this was a policy that was just aimed at revenue raising, that it wasn't targeted at anybody in particular. We've now seen the anti-forestalling clause, and we know from Treasury's own figures that 75% of the £500 million that is expected to be raised for this will come from farmers who die over the age of 75. So, is it not the case that actually this is a targeted measure, and it is targeted at, and it will affect those who are elderly, suffering from terminal illnesses over 75, and it doesn't matter if it's one farmer or 1,000 farmers. Surely you cannot be comfortable with that.
Let me just address the point that it's not targeted. It's not targeted at individuals.
Well, it was what you said last year.
It's not targeted, as I said last year. It's an economic reform which we took in the budget before last. Not targeted. It is to adjust the rate at which inheritance tax is, the fact that it's paid, the rate at which it's paid, and the period over which it is paid. But it's not targeted against individuals. I'm not arguing with you that there are therefore going to be individuals affected, as there are with any change in any tax regime. But there's a difference between changing the tax regime and targeting a group of individuals. This is about changing the tax regime.
The anti-forestalling clause that we've spoken about traps farmers into the new rules. It doesn't allow them the same opportunities that other taxpayers will have to use tax planning to manage their affairs in a sensible way that will allow the succession of family farms in this country.
That doesn't make it targeted. It is a necessary consequence of the decisions that we've taken. But I can assure you, as you would expect, the President of the NFU has raised this issue with me on more than one occasion.
Not just the President of the NFU.
Well, I appreciate that.
You've heard it from Cat Smith, you've heard it from my Select Committee, you've heard it from the Welsh Affairs Select Committee, you've heard it from the Northern Ireland Affairs Committee. These are all select committees, incidentally, that have majorities from the Labour Party, and they have all produced unanimous reports calling for this to be paused and rethought. You don't have to listen to me. You don't even have to listen to the farmers out there. You don't have to listen to the president of the NFU. But why do you not listen to your own party colleagues?
I do listen to party colleagues all the time.
And then do what you're going to do anyway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carmichael.
I mean, they allowed him to evade questions like he does in Prime Minister's questions. Because what's interesting is, at the liaison committee, he admitted that jury trials won't actually help to solve the backlog. So he's ditching 800 years of our judiciary system and our freedoms just for, nothing. And he's also admitted that he knows of people who are terminally ill who may end up taking their life before the farm taxes actually come into place. So again, that wasn't in the manifesto, and they should be grilling him about it, because it's broken promises that he wasn't actually promised in the manifesto, that he has no mandate to actually implement. And again, with the illegal migration, Labour MPs, they celebrated 28 days of no boats coming in prematurely, because after that we had 700 come in, and that's taken us over 40,000 legal migrants that came into the UK. So again, it's like we're having to rely on bad weather to keep us safe at border control. So where is our tax money actually going? Because it's appalling.
And Chris Rose, when you look at the makeup of the examiners today, 8 out of 12 from the Labour Party, 3 from the Conservatives, only 1 Liberal Democrat, and of course nobody from Reform UK. Does it sort of cast a sort of shadow of doubt over the entire point of these things? I mean, it's like 8 of your mates, giving you an end-of-year review. I mean, why bother?
That's the thing. I mean, we know that he's going to go soft with them. Keir Starmer doesn't like scrutiny. He even left the liaison committee early as well, because when he's held up to scrutiny, he doesn't like it at all. He doesn't like his pre-prepared questions taking another route. He can't think quick on his feet. I mean, Kenny Badenoch is actually running rings around him at Prime Minister's questions now as well. Even with journalists who used to support him, during the election last year, now that they're scrutinising him more, you can see the anger and his short temper coming out of him a bit. So he doesn't like it. So that's why they've picked, easy questions from, 8 of his mates instead of an actual grilling that he fully deserved. Looking at his popularity ratings, he really needs to be grilled, particularly by even his own MPs, because things aren't looking well for them at all, according to the polling. They're currently in 3rd place, 4th place, pushing down. And as you heard, as read, Reform now have more party members than Labour as well, because they've all drifted off to Green Party, whatever SAC is offering them. And, things aren't looking well. So I don't know why he doesn't want more scrutiny, because after the next local elections in May, I think they may move to actually get rid of him as leader, and certainly the Chancellor as well. So going ahead in easy mode is just bringing them, it's just delusional.
Hello. It's the most wonderful time of the year, so the song goes. We finished our work, we sit by the fire with friends and family and eat and drink way too much. But for some people, it can be one of the worst times of the year. People living rough, haven't got a home and friends and family, and they can't eat and drink as much as they like. So that's why I'm going to wrap this up and go and give it to a tramp. So, probably film it for Instagram, so people know what a great bloke I am. Put some really sad music on it. See his little fucking face light up. Oh God. Dutch barn. Move on up. Why not? Good advice. Right. If you had to choose one, would you A, never tell another joke in your life? That's impossible. That's impossible. Never taste alcohol again. Can I drink it and hold my nose? I think you mean never. I'll take that as never drink alcohol again. That's tough. Easier than the first one. Never travel beyond Hampstead or your house in the country. That's not that bad. The way honestly, Even when I travel to places I really love, I wish they were down the road, or I could teleport myself. Just getting up and getting dressed. Lose all memories of your career since 2001. No, that's the fun bit, isn't it? Looking back at stuff. You know, you did a good job, and that's soon. That's all you are, isn't it? Memories, when you can't actually do any of that shit anymore. I think I never go beyond Hampstead. That's fine. Unless something terrible happens to Hampstead, which I don't think it will. Hampstead is one of those places that sort of time forgot. Whatever's happening in the world, it's always okay in Hampstead. So I think it's got to be 3. Then I can tell jokes, drink alcohol, and remember stuff. Although the alcohol. I thought that would be a good advert for alcohol. Sort of like a play on words. Dutch Barn. It helps me forget. Because it does actually, it can affect your memory. I told you I do honest advertising. Just me sat in a bin like that. I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Imagine that in the Super Bowl. That advert. Me in a bin going, I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Just that. Cost 40 quid, that advert. Put it on Super Bowl. Well, it probably cost about $1 million to put on Super Bowl, but you know what I mean? They're already regretting giving me the company. If you were a cat like us, would you climb the Christmas tree? Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because if I was a cat like you, I'd be an idiot, wouldn't I? So I would climb the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. That's not bad, is it? I'll do that. Drink Dutch Barn. Merry Christmas. There's an advert. Another one. It's that easy. It's that easy. And my cat, when I was little, Paddy, Big Tabby, a bit like Pickle, used to eat the lametta. You remember that sort of like stuff that you'd hang on Christmas trees that was like sort of tin foil? It would eat that and throw it up. So we just find these really sort of glamorous, shiny balls of vomit around the house. Liberace spew. Yeah, so I probably would climb the Christmas tree. Is there anyone you met professionally that has surprised you or been different to what you expected? David Bowie springs to mind, just because he was so innovative and I don't know, and he was like alien, and then you meet him and he's a normal bloke from South London. And he's really down to earth and funny, and he knows about stuff. He still knows what's going on. You know, you expect him to be sort of out of touch in some sort of weird lair. Yeah, just a bloke called Davy Jones. That's about it, really. Thanks for following. Yeah, be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
You wanted to divide them. You wanted to separate us. So we look divided.
We often see people pulled up online for an old tweet that contradicts their current position. And rather than celebrate that that person has learned something and has changed their opinion, it is used as a massive pile-on to cancel them. Exactly. How do you feel about that? And is there anything your 20-year-old self would have tweeted that you wouldn't agree with now? I'm sure. I can't think of anything. Although I'd probably be embarrassed by my 20-year-old self trying to be so right on, because that's what most 20-year-olds are. They're trying to be. So I'd probably cringe at getting it slightly wrong, if anything. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't forget that sort of is purely people saying, "Look how good I must be." If I'm bringing someone down, if I'm cancelling someone because the tiniest thing they did 10 years ago, think how perfect I must be. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to get one-upmanship to make themselves look better. So yeah, it's to be ignored. And you're exactly right. If there's no value in changing and saying sorry, don't bother then. It's ludicrous. You're exactly right. People, if you find something that people was 10 years ago and now they're not, you're right. That should be applauded because they've changed for the better. But it's just people hating on each other to make themselves look better. Best thing is just ignore it. Just ignore it. That's what these people, they want attention. They don't care what it is. It's like these people who go on any march to windows. They don't care about the cause. It's that 5% that brings all good ideas are eventually infiltrated and ruined by a minority. The trolls of the political world.
What a feeling. Okay? Most man in Britain. All your lives didn't work. And the best thing is, we're unifying the people. Exactly what you wanted to stop. You wanted to divide them. You wanted to separate us. So we look divided. Come on. Back up, mate. Back up. Come on.
But most people are all right. If you looked at Twitter, if an alien looked at Twitter, they'd go, "We're not going there. It's mental," right? But if any aliens are watching, it's not like that. Don't think the real world is like the maniacs, the 5% crazies each other over the minutiae of nothing. It's not like that. Most people are nice, normal people getting on with their lives. Okay, if you're a big fat slug, I'm Zorgon. I go, come on, lads, come down. We're all right. We might eat you. We eat everything, so we might eat you. But apart from that, we're all right. Like a real DJ. Nothing like a real DJ. Hello, how you doing? There's that big, fat, red, shiny, post-bath face. Oh, probably got falafel in my teeth as well. I thought I was a bit hungry, so I shoved in a little falafel and hummus. A little vegan treat before tea. Started off well, and it's just fascinating already, isn't it? Right, loads of questions, too many. As I won't get round to all of them, but thank you very much. It's sort of random. It's like the first 10 or 20, whatever. I hope you had a good Christmas. I had a good Christmas. After Christmas, I think it was about the 30th of December. I was on a little bag of kettle crisps. You know, those really sort of baked ones that are really hard, that smash old people's teeth. And broke a tooth, sort of in half. I swallowed it as well. I didn't really notice until my tongue felt it, and it's depressing. I just go, oh fuck. First, it's admin. It's just hard, and I go, right, I've got to go to the dentist now. If it just fucking fell out, oh yeah, fine, forget it. I don't have to do anything. But I had to do something. So I think it was a Saturday, so we called an emergency dentist. I went in there, and what's happened is, it's like an old filling. So, eventually it sort of broke away and the filling fell out. And it was a sharp thing. And she did a great temporary job. She sort of like filed it down, filled it in and sort of filed it down. But I've got to go back. Twice, of course, because I've got to do the thing. I'm not a dentist. And then send the thing to the lab to make the crown. So 2 more trips to the dentist because I had a fucking mouthful of crisps. So that was my New Year. But apart from that, it was a good one. Good to be back. Good to be back, isn't it? Right, Welsh Felix. Have you got another character inside your imagination that wants a new series, like David, Derek, or Tony? And if so, what kind of series would it be? I have got a few, but at the moment, well, one, I'm on tour. That's sort of a character, isn't it? My stand-up. A man confidently saying awful things about things he doesn't understand. That's sort of a character. That's my excuse, anyway. And I'm doing this animation, which is like 18 months work for a little series of 6. But yeah, I've got a few ideas knocking around. I'd like to do another short film as well. I'd like to do another film. But when you do it all, there's only so many hours in the day. And most of those I want to sit around. When I say, I'm working every day, I mean, I'm working 2 hours at something every day. So, yes. Is there any way we could persuade you to do a Columbo reboot? Do you know what? One of my favourite programmes of all time. Everyone's favourite. It's just amazing. Top 5, I'd say. And you can watch them over and over again. And I'd love to, but the reason I shouldn't and wouldn't is that it just can't be improved upon. I don't want to be compared to Peter Falk. So, no, but it's a remarkable piece, yeah. Leopold and Loveday. When is the new series featuring cats coming? That's what the animation is. It's a group of sort of alley cats. They're sort of like the bottom of the pile, and life's a struggle, but they get through it. It's sort of like a cross between, I can't give too much away, but it's sort of like a cross between, I don't know, Sopranos, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Derek and Clive, Only Fools and Horses, but animation and cats. There's nothing like it. I can't describe it, and I don't want to give too much away, but I think you'll like it. No Meat Pete. My question is, how many times do you get up for a wee in the night? Yeah, a couple. I always have, though. That's nothing to do with age. I've got anxiety wee. Like, if I wake up in the middle of the night, it's not because I need a wee, but when I wake up, I go, I should have a wee, because it'd be terrible to fall asleep and then wake up for a wee. So I have a wee whenever I wake up in the night for whatever reason. It could be the cat meowing, or a fox outside, or a fucking owl, right? And I go, I better have a wee. I don't pass the toilet. I could be on a plane, have a wee on the plane before it lands, get to the airport and think, I'll have a wee at the airport just in case. So yeah, I can't blame that on age, really. James Willoughby Oliver. Our question is, if you could be a cat for the day and hang out with Pickle, what would you two do together? Same as we do now. Sit around. Just sit around, have a snooze, have a snack. She loves vegan cheese. If I ever have a little bit of vegan cheese, she's there. She can. That's weird, isn't it? A cat liking vegan cheese. I mean, I'm sure she'd like real cheese. Yeah, that's our little snack together as well. So it wouldn't be a lot different, really. It wouldn't be a lot. Yeah, just mooching around. That's sad, isn't it? If you were a cat, what would you do different? Nothing. It is like the perfect life, isn't it? Cat. Julia Campbell. We're flying through these, aren't we? Or maybe I should have got some more. Julia Campbell. What do you think of the comedy roasts on TV? I don't think... I know I've seen bits of them. I've seen clips and stuff. I don't think I've sat down and watched them. I don't really... I mean, do you know what? I don't really watch TV. I think I watch, like, The Chase. We sit down with our tea. That's like on... We've got that on Series Link, so we got all the chases. Because you can watch, a little bit of that when we're eating. I watched The Apprentice and I watched Traitors. And I watched live football, and that's it. I just don't have terrestrial telly on at all. But I've seen clips of them. Obviously, I've seen them on Instagram, and I want to say X, but I can't. I've got to say Twitter. Sorry. I mean, I'll get around to it eventually. Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they get good people, and I think they have like a team writing the jokes, and the people they do are sort of good sports, and you can go further. I've actually been invited to, do a. It's not quite me. It's not quite my thing. But I think they're good. They're pretty good. What's her name was good on one that got her the Golden Globes. Nikki Glaser. I think she did a good job at the Globes as well. The pressure's off me now, isn't it? They can just use her forever now. Yeah, they're good, but it's like there's a lot of things I sort of like that. I don't get around. I don't watch anything. I'm just sort of busy, really. But I've got nothing against them. No, I think they're good. They're better. I mean, better than most things. I mean, most telly is awful, isn't it? That's true of anything. Any genre in anything, most is awful. That's why some things are excellent, and why the average is okay. But most telly is just unwatchable. It's just fucking brain rot. I'm not even judging that. That's fine. I've watched a lot of brain rot, but I search. I'm always looking out for something, a new sort of Scandi drama, or something foreign noir. That's what I like, and I go through everything. Netflix, Amazon, Walter Presents, anything, just to find, sort of a meaningful, realistic, well-made drama. And if you've got the whole world to choose from, that you can usually find some at most days of the week. And when there's nothing around, I go back and watch a classic, like I watched The Sopranos. Watched that twice. I watched The Bureau twice. I've watched Borgen twice, from beginning to end. So there's always something. If you leave it long enough, you don't remember it either. Not at my age. I go, oh yeah. When I see it, I remember it, but I can't remember what's good. So it's really good. Yeah, good. And I think most of the things I watch now are clips. And then if I see a couple of clips, like my new favourite comedian is that Nate Bargatze. I think I've seen his whole special now on clips. He's great. He's really great, and he's sort of sweet, and he's clean, and you know, he's just good. And Shane Gillis, he's fantastic. And I watch the classics as well. You know, Louis and Jerry Seinfeld and all those. You can always find something. You don't have to just sit and watch what they give you. I just don't get it why some people just sit in front of the telly and just watch. Look at all the songs. Fucking hell. Have a look around. Daniel, oh yeah, let's go. Any new TV or film recommendations? I've watched a couple of terrible films, one of which I turned off. I'm not going to say, I don't like doing that, but you know, that's the other thing when you've got the whole world to choose from. You can go, this is shit, and bail. But I don't tell people about those. I just don't see the point of slagging off a piece of art, however terrible, really. What I see, so I'll just be positive and saw a great series. Wouldn't have thought I'd liked it. Didn't like the title. Suspicious straight away. But it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Swedish mini-series called Helicopter Heist, based on a true story. I think the biggest ever robbery in Sweden. But it's brilliant. The actors are fantastic. Just so real. The writing's great. The direction, and I looked it up and it's sort of 3 different directors, but consistently the direction is great. And the episode where you see the actual heist, it's like it's real time. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. There's a film that's one take. I think it's called not Rope by Hitchcock. There's a modern one called I think it's Veronica. They did it in one take, and this is sort of like that, but the tension, because it's real time and the clock ticking. I won't give it away, but it's great, and it's not just a shoot 'em up plot thing. You really care for everyone. Helicopter Heist. Watch it in the original language. Whenever I recommend a foreign thing, never watch it dubbed. You've got the greatest actors around the world, and then someone in a booth just overdubbing it. No. Do it in the original language with subtitles. So yeah, there you go. Watch that. Helicopter Heist. A lot of people are rewatching Afterlife as well. I think that always happens. I don't know if that's people at Christmas who talk about it with people that haven't seen it, or more people get Netflix at Christmas, or I don't know. But yeah, thank you. I mean, still adding to it. Millions of people just still watching it again or for the first time. Yeah, thank you. And I still meet people. I met a couple today that had lost someone and watched it. So it's great. It's really great to hear. Chloe, my eyes are stinging, of course. Trying to read these things. I've had a bath. The light's a bit bright. Squinting like a fucking mole man. I should wear glasses. Is the honest truth. I should. But it's that one time I first put them on in public. I still think I'm at school, that's the problem. I still think that I put them on in public, wherever I am, could be anywhere. Could be reading out a winner at fucking Oscars or something. It doesn't matter where it is. Or a library, anything. And I still think someone's going to go, 4 eyes. I'll go, fucking hell. So, Also, I can't be bothered. If an optician came around and said, "Oh, hi, I'm an optician. I've just made these glasses. I've worked out the exact glasses for you. And I put them on." I went, "Great." And they went, "How much?" They went, £1,000. I went, "Great, there you go." I'd wear them. But being called Four Eyes, along with having to go and do it, it's nearly medical as well, which always worries me. I just want things to get better. I know my eyesight isn't going to get better. You know what I mean? Oh, God. There must be a condition for all the things that I talk about. You know what I mean? Just there must be a condition for, like, lazy, sort of... I don't know. But all the things I've ever talked about, being lazy and never going to the doctor and... You know, that what is that? There's about 1,000 new conditions, so I must be one of them. So yeah, I'm bound to have some. It doesn't matter, does it? Who cares? Chloe. Hi Ricky. Do you have anything different in January to stave off the winter blues? If you can give us a few tips. I don't know, it is a bit shit, isn't it, January and February? Not because it's post-Christmas, because the weather, I think, in England, is just grey, isn't it? It's not enough. I mean, I think it's physical. There's not enough UV light getting through to perk you up a bit. I don't know. I'd say I'm always angry when it's in the morning. It's fucking terrible. But it's better to still go for a walk than sit home and go, I'm not going out in the rain. Because then you just think, I should have gone for a walk. I just go out, do the walk, angry, get wet, come home. But at least I've done the walk and I'm angry. Otherwise it's sitting at home looking out the window going, fucking hell, I'm angry and I haven't done the walk. So that's the tip. Don't let it defeat. Just keep do whatever you were going to do anyway, I suppose is my tip. You can take vitamin D, I think, that helps, doesn't it? I'm not a doctor, but you're missing that, aren't you, with the sun? Sad lamps, those things that cheer you up. You put a lamp on for 5 minutes. Wrap up warm. Visit friends and the elderly. Just got to get through it, haven't you? Look forward to spring. Jenna, how's the mortality tour going? And which places are you looking forward to performing the most? I'm flying from the UK to New York to see you in April. Excellent, cheers. Well, that's one of them. Love New York. Radio City, doing those two again. Biggest theatre in the world. I think it's because it's the limit of what a theatre is before the arena. I'm doing a couple of those. Hollywood Bowl, if depending on what's happening with the situation. I love, my favourite places are still loads of lovely places in the UK, but my top 5 places that I always look forward. I look forward to all of them. I really do, because I only do places I like. I only do places I like, with hotels I like, with venues I like. So I'd say it's still, your Amsterdams, your Copenhagens, Prague. But I love them all. Paris, I usually try and add one new one as well. I did a couple last time. I did Helsinki for the first time. I think Lisbon, which I'm doing again, and might try Geneva. I look forward to all of them. It's just great. I still can't believe I sell out arenas around the world. That's mad. That is mad. It's mad enough to do it in your own country, but to do it and they're non-English speaking, that there's enough people that can understand every word. Come on, I've sold out. I did a lovely little venue in Paris the last few times, and then They said, no, you could do the arena. I just sold out like Wembley in the middle of Paris, basically. That's mental. I mean, I never got over it. I never take it for granted. But it is pretty crazy. How that happened, I don't know. But I'm very grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving it. Rachel, as a kid, did you ever go to the fairground? I did. Or a theme park? I never went to a theme park. I think they were around when I was a kid. They were invented. I think they've been around since. I'm sure there's been Victorian theme parks. But I never really went to those sort of things. I went to a couple of holiday camps or, caravan sites. But there used to be a fair that would come right near my house. I think it was in Long Barn Lane in Whitley, where I lived. And at the time, I just, I thought it was amazing. It was like a cross between, I don't know, a circus and, I don't know, a Hells Angels hideout. It was sort of rough and scary and exciting, and I liked it. What was your favourite ride? Didn't have rides. I had the Dodgems. I remember when I was too young to go on the Dodgems, I used to go in with my brother, who'd just try and smash the other cars. I really liked the shooting range that you could never win at because they were a con, obviously. I liked it. I just like walking around, looking at stuff. It just seemed so big and endless. If I worked it out, it'd probably be nothing. It'd probably be like horrible, pathetic, scummy. But at the time, it was amazing. Yeah. That's all the questions I've got. What can I talk about? Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to talk about. A lot of people who got dogs for Christmas, which you should never give a present like that, either don't want them or got bored with them, or it might be austerity. Some people can't afford. A lot of people can't afford a dog. So rescue centres are inundated. Just look at your local rescue centre, and if you want a dog, if you really want a dog and you can keep it and you can be the best sort of parent, give it the best life ever, then go to a rescue home. I mean, one of my favourites is All Dogs Matter if you're in London, but there'll be a rescue. They're just I don't get this thing where people go, oh, I need $5,000 to get the dog that I like online as well, which is fucking mental. These are the best. They're as good as any dog. Better. It's the best type. A rescue dog is the best type. Get a rescue dog. Get your best friend. You don't have to fucking buy a designer dog for $5,000 that's probably been inbred to an inch of its life. You get a mutt. Get a mutt who had some bad luck. So there's that. Oh yeah, and I should plug my thing. I was thinking of sort of doing competitions, like you could win one of these beer mats with. Hold on. But I can't be bothered, and I don't know how to do it. So I'll talk to the people there, and we do some competitions on the website to get some merchandise or vouchers or. Right, okay. I think this is going to be like our bestseller this year. It went down a storm, right? We did lots of flavours, and I think this was the favourite, black cherry. I've got a tip. I don't usually do this. I don't give tips on drinks or cocktails, but that with Coke is amazing. In my case, Diet Coke or Pepsi, but that black cherry Dutch Barn with a cola, I don't know why, it's just, It's amazing. There's something retro about it. Bit of ice, a couple of shots of that, the cola of your choice, and you're laughing. You'll thank me. You will. So, and if you can't adopt a dog, don't do it if you can't. Obviously, that just adds to the problem. But you can always foster. You can always help. You can always go along. You can volunteer. You can give a fiver. But there are enough dogs in the world. Everyone can have one without inbreeding or people conning you out of $5,000 for some sort of weird, fancy fad of a dog. Get a big old mutt or a little mutt for free, and years and years of joy. Right, that's about it. Thanks for following. Said it, I'm up to date. X, Insta. There was one question where someone said, could you ever be tempted to play James Bond? Well, no, I wouldn't be asked for a start. But no, it'd be awful. They filmed for years. I couldn't do it. It's like 14-hour days of running around. I wouldn't be in charge. It would be awful. I'd be awful. The film would be awful. But yeah, in real life, yeah, sure. I'm probably more realistic, aren't I, than Roger Moore or Daniel Craig. I bet most spies are more like me than supermodels, aren't they? But the one thing with me being a spy is this, like, so they call me in, they go, okay, you're 0048. I go, yeah, right. They go, right, just remember, you can't tell anyone. I go, okay. I'd come home to Jane, I'd go, right, you won't believe this. She go, what? I go, fucking spy. She wouldn't believe me, that's the good thing. So I wouldn't, she go, don't talk bollocks. I go, oh, I've told you. So that would be fine, but I wouldn't stop. First time I'd go to the pub with some mates, I go, right, you can't tell anyone, but I am a spy. I go, really? I go, yeah. Nah. Just random people. I'd start wearing a tuxedo everywhere, just going out, right? Someone kind of said, can I have your autograph? I go, yeah. I go, Ricky Gervais, in brackets, the spy. I go, what's that? I go, the spy. They go, what's that? I go, doesn't matter. Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't keep that a secret. Oh dear. Right, there you go. Thanks very much. Buy Dutch Barn. Go to the website, dutchbarn.com, and I'll try and think of some competitions and giveaways and things. But try it. Try Dutch Barn. I want to make it a global brand, and try the old black cherry with Coke. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.